YouTube, hello. Welcome all my pipe smoking friends on YouTube. And I'm coming from my stoep again, my favorite and usual spot. And I'm smoking a Black Cavendish in my new George Jensen, which I received yesterday. And nice. So today I would like to share with you number 3 of my series, and that is cake and cake forming and the whole debate around it. So cake forming, and may I immediately put a disclaimer in, and that is this is my opinion. Well, actually all these videos in this series will be my opinion, and there's lots of other opinions, all valid, and I will reiterate it and will keep on repeating myself. There's no right and wrong answer. It is how you like it and how you do it which is important, and I will just explain to you how I do it and what I do. So the first video was on buying your new pipe. Maybe I will just get my Savinelli Punto Furo. Because this Savinelli is called the Punto Furo, first smoke. And I think it's an excellent pipe for a beginner. It's not too expensive, but being a Savinelli, it will be good. So on cake forming today, let me clear the ground first. Some people would like a lot of cake. Cake forming, by the way, is a term for the layer for the carbonized layer forming inside the bowl of your pipe, which is important because if you do buy a new pipe, it will look like this one. And as you can see, they only treat it with something on the inside, but it's actually clean hood that you get there. So the cake forming is the carbonized layer that is formed around the bowl of your pipe when you start smoking your pipe. I was trying to look at one of my old pipes to see which one has got a nice cake. I think that one you would be able to see is quite a nice layer of carbon there. It is one of my old GBDs. So that is important. There's my George Jensen. I think that one also got quite a nice layer. Right. So the disclaimer, or part of the disclaimer is just to say that some will like a thick layer of carbon inside. Others won't care about the carbon layer or the cake inside your bowl. They will just keep on smoking. I know of many farmers who never even had a pipe tool. They just kept on smoking, so much so that at a certain point you can't even get your finger anymore in the I've seen one of those. The carbon layer was so thick that you couldn't even get your finger in there. Others will keep on scraping it off until a very thin layer. So again, it all depends on your liking and what you like. Personally, I don't make too much of a fuss of my carbon layer. I just make sure that there is a carbon layer so I will keep on smoking my pipe in a certain way until the carbon layer has been formed, or the cake, and then I just keep on smoking that pipe until forever. Sometimes what you can do is to use your pipe tool. If the carbon layer gets too thick, you can use your pipe tool, something like this, and just scrape very gently. You can just scrape very gently the unevenness of the carbon layer, so that it forms a nice round even cake. But maybe I'm ahead of myself. How do you get there? So the first part was just to say, after you've got it, how you can maintain it. But let's start first. How do you get there? So if you buy a new pipe, as I showed you just now, there will be no cake or no layer of carbon inside it. Again, there's different opinions. Some people will say that you need to start by packing your pipe first, a quarter full, for let's say about 4 smokes. A quarter full, light it, smoke it down. A quarter full again, and then for the next 4 to 6 smokes, half full, and then 3/4 full, and then full. The reason for that is that you make sure then that the cake layer forming is right from the top to the bottom. If you don't do that, it can happen then that only the top layer, the top of your pipe, has got a nice layer of cake, and then at the bottom there's nothing. And the problem is you might then damage the bottom of your bowl of your pipe. So not a bad idea if you want to do that, is to do the quarter, half, 3/4 full, and let's say 3-4 smokes, maybe even 6 on each. And then after that, you can be sure that your carbon layer will be fine to just keep on smoking. Because sometimes we do smoke a full bowl, sometimes we only smoke a half bowl. From there on, it doesn't really matter. The main important part is to start forming the layers of your pipe. As I said, some will do it very meticulously and will keep track of it. Others will just start on packing their pipe and start lighting and smoking it. In the beginning, 30 years ago, my first pipe was this one, and I didn't know about layer by layer forming, or I just started filling it up and smoking it, and here I am 30 years later, no problem. One of my best pipes and one of my favorite pipes. So what I mean to say then is, if you do want to follow the example or the recommendation, cool, no problem. If you don't want to worry about it, that's also fine. Your pipe will probably be fine, for the next 20-30 years of its lifespan, and even longer. The main part actually is not really the specifics behind the layer forming process, but not to smoke your pipe when it's too hot. I call it too hot to handle. If your pipe gets too hot that you can't even handle it, it's already too late. Stop, because that's when the wood and your pipe gets damaged, and that is what the cake forming helps prevent, is to prevent the hot or the heat that your pipe bowl might generate. So whatever you do and whichever method you prefer, just make sure that when you start smoking your new pipe, it will become quickly very hot. And there are certain tobaccos that also smokes hotter than other. So just make sure that your pipe never gets too hot to handle. Remember the slogan, too hot to handle. So just make sure that is not too hot to handle. If it is too hot, just put it down, take another pipe. That's why 2 or 3 pipes is actually a nice idea to have. If it's too hot, take another pipe, light it up, and continue if you still want to. Otherwise, just let it rest for a while. Someone also says you need to be able to put it against your face, and if it burns your face, then stop. So that to me is more important than exactly how you build the layer of the cake, the layers of cakes in your bowl. Is the too hot to handle rule. If you bought a estate pipe or a second-hand pipe, in the piping world, a second-hand pipe is called estate. If you buy a estate pipe, there will already be a layer of cake in it. But often when they do sell it, they clean out the pipe and sanitize it. So although there might be a layer of cake, it might have been removed a bit. Even the other day when I sent one of my pipes for clean up and polish, they virtually removed most of the cake carbon layer inside the bowl of my pipe. Not a problem. So even if it's an estate pipe, not a bad idea to keep to the rule by making sure it doesn't get too hot. Just a few smokes to make sure that there's a layer of cake formed, and then carry on. So for some, very important principle in pipe smoking. For others, they don't care about it. They don't worry about it. They just start smoking, and they don't worry about it. As I said earlier, if you want to maintain the layer of cake in your pipe, that is what this knife in your pipe tool is for. So you can just even out, because sometimes you'll see the layer of cake in your bowl will be uneven because of the smoke. So you can just take your sharp side and just faintly scrape it even again, or if it's too thick, just trim it off a bit, and your pipe is ready to go again. The other thing about the layer of cake in the bowl of your pipe, how thick should it be? Some people say the thickness of a dime. I don't know how big is a dime. We've got coins, but I suppose it is probably the size of a coin. So yeah, in whichever country you are, just the size of a coin. Maybe I think a coin would be if I think about our coins, a coin would be actually quite thick. So I would say about 3 to 5 millimeters is fine for the layer of cake in your pipe. So yeah, that is my opinion on cake forming. To me, not rocket science, not a major issue, but don't let your pipe get too hot to handle. If it's too hot, just put it down, and later on you will be able to smoke longer and more because of the cake, the layer of carbon that was formed, and that's what it's all about. Yes, I spoke about packing, and here I've got a pipe today which is not good, not well packed. So it happens. It happens years after again. This one I have to pull and it doesn't want to keep on. So it happens. But I'll fix it. Somehow, somewhere it'll be fine. So don't worry, don't make it too difficult an issue. The whole thing is you need to enjoy your pipe experience. The whole lighting, playing around, checking it, and the whole thing is an experience. So enjoy it. My philosophy is I smoke pipe to relax and to enjoy it. If it's not a relaxing exercise anymore, then why do I do it? So yeah. On that note, friends, I'm close to 15 minutes. Good time for me to say goodbye and enjoy your day, and thank you for watching. Series number 4 in the series will be all about tobaccos and blending. Thank you. Bye-bye.